Hello everybody on the internet and welcome back. It is the 12th of November 2018 and I have returned to my regular schedule after a gap of a week. Like I mentioned last episode, I have been away traveling and so I missed 1 week, one Monday that I couldn't post an episode. And this explains, well, I'm back now, safe and sound, and this explains why I have not completed a whole slew of new miniatures in these 2 weeks, because out of those 14 days, only 3 contain any time that I could actually paint. So I have finished, though, a total of 3 minis, and you're looking at 2 of them right now. These are kobolds. They are the new Reaper kobolds from the Dungeon Dwellers line, and they're metal. Most of the kobolds I've painted so far from Reaper have been from bones. They've been a couple of different kinds of sculpts, different sculptors and with different ideas, but none of them have looked exactly like this, so don't know how well they mix and match, but I painted them similar skin tones, similar colors, so hopefully nobody will be too surprised by it. The third mini I finished is a Reaper Bones mini, and it's a somewhat larger one. It is the Manticore. Let's see if we can get them all into picture. Probably not. And he has a nice scenic base, and I put him on, I added it onto a normal plastic base as well, and painted him up. It's an interesting sculpt because he has a scaled body, very clearly, which not a lot of Manticores have in illustrations, but I feel that's a good choice. So it has the lion head and the back wings. Now my choice of green for the wings is actually not based on any illustration I've ever seen of a Manticore. It's just my own instinct for color balance. After painting all the yellows and the reds on the body, I decided I need something else to break with that, something to contrast, and so a dark kind of leathery green perhaps would work. So purely artistic license. Yeah, anyway, those are the finished minis. Let's go to the work table. So the big thing I'm working on right now is the skeleton Chariot, and we'll see on the Chariot itself, I've laid down some sloppy base coats. Very sloppy. The reason I primed it black is because I wanted to have a bunch of metallic on it. Unfortunately, I've since decided that the actual Chariot body, which is, I'm assuming, mostly wood, I want to paint a light color. So that's gonna, I haven't figured out which one exactly yet, but I'll get to it. Now the base, again, the base and the horses have had some base coats applied and some dry brushing here and there. It looks messy, but it's actually almost finished. And finally, the skeletons themselves are, well, they are practically complete. There's a few details, like I want to try to see if I can freehand some sort of symbol or device on the standard. I haven't really figured out which one yet, though. And surprise, surprise, I have actually worked a bit on this miniature. Some more. The big thing left here is, of course, the flame in her hand and the OSL, which is supposed to radiate from that. If you'll recall, this is part of my project where I'm painting the minis from this DVD set, and you can tell that I've chosen slightly different colors. Marika went with all blue, or rather a sort of teal or dark blue, green, black kind of color for everything, hair, wings, and clothing. I've gone with a blue-black Let's see in the light for the hair, but the wings and the clothing are more on the purple range. Yeah, but yeah, it feels good to be working on that project again. Maybe I can finally put that to rest sometime soon. What else am I working on? This is where we're at with Eternal Champion miniatures. I put them on basis, added the shields, and nothing else. Well, I've cleaned them up before that, and I cut away all the tabs so that I could pin them onto these resin bases. And you know, I could have easily primed them before filming this. That only takes like a minute. But I wanted you to see them as they were, because once they're primed, they start looking like they belong there. Like they were always meant to be part of that base, and this shows you more of the process of how it's more of a choice that I made, a kind of decision. And you'll notice I used the same sort of skull basis for Moonglum and the sort of adventuring version of Elric, because they often wade across fields of enemies, whereas the sort of Emperor version of Elric, where he's in his sort of Melibonian armor, I put them on this sort of Dark Temple base, as it's called, which I thought was, well, maybe a part of Melibonian. And here we have Hawkmoon charging forward off of a rock. And this one I thought was especially dramatic. Arikoze charging up a hill, so to speak. And I see I used one of the provided plastic shields for this guy because I thought, well, it had a nice pattern to it, the only one that did. And I thought this miniature was one that would, well, the way he's equipped, otherwise he seems logical that he would carry a big round shield, while Elric and Hawkmoon would probably not have, they would have these slightly smaller kite shields. This is a heater, and the other one was kind of a version of that. But yeah, I don't know how much I'll get done by next week on these. I'll at least prime them and possibly start base coating a little bit. We'll see. It's that time in the video, which is fortunately getting more and more rare because I'm getting better about not backing every Kickstarter that I see that seems cool. But there is a Kickstarter that has arrived from one company that I can seldom resist, and that is Muslim Miniatures. And this one was for the rats. It's a whole slew of giant rats. These are like normal giant rats, and some more normal giant rats. Well, actually, I think it's more like these are giant rats and these are dire rats. They're slightly larger, and then we have the absolutely humongous rats. Some of them are mutant. This one is two-headed, and when I get a bunch of minis like this that are relatively easy to paint, I can kind of speed paint them, and they're all kind of similar. I'll try to vary the colors a little bit, but still the same basic techniques. I think I'll put these into production right away. These will be my next project that I will prep going forward. So expect to see them started by next week. Anyway, that was the end of the episode. No more to show you this week. Hopefully a lot more progress next time. But until then, click like, subscribe, share the video, comment, and I will be back. Takian, signing off.